You won't be a presentation. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at three people once.
Yeah,
I'm talking to
you're
Scott.
Me?
Tina, you're still on. Stop, please.
Brady,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Gothier,
Here.
Drummond. Here. Small.
Here. Set the motion approving minutes from December 1st regular meeting and December 13th special meeting. Who was seconded? Any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Public comment, 3 minutes, please. Identify yourself and your township.
I have a public comment
Great.
from the Veterans Affairs Office. Some information that was asked for the other day. Just want to get you that information. Kona County right now has 17 burial claims. There's 3 out there that haven't been turned back in, so that will be 3 more if they turn them in. Roscommon has 85 burial claims. Iosco County has 37 burial claims. So,
Thanks, sorry. Thanks, John. Next, please.
Dr. Arcturus, Harrisville Township. I don't know if the board has been keeping up with some of the recent changes with the vaccine mandates that have been going on. You didn't know all of the vaccine mandates have been blocked or thrown out in court. The military mandatory active service members have been blocked. Healthcare workers, federal contractors, and most importantly, the one that 100 employees for public employers. In addition, OSHA rule that you were under obligation to follow, that has been completely removed. In addition to that, moving through Congress, the Senate passed a resolution to allow them, the Democratic controlled Senate, passed a resolution to allow them to use the Congressional Oversight Act to keep OSHA from ever doing a similar mandate to what they did, or a similar rule. Now it goes on to the Democratic controlled House to see what happens there. So there is some movement. Commissioner Small, you were right in your confidence that this would work through the courts. So I'm glad you were right on that account. A couple studies or polls that have come up. Most recent one, this is from October, and I don't know what they were going to tell you to do that if somebody didn't have a vaccine, but just 14% of all respondents said those workers should be fired for not complying with the vaccine mandate. And as far as Republicans, just 4% favored firing any employee that did not comply. In addition, there was a previous study that's come out before these most recent court cases. Up to 70% of Republicans oppose vaccine mandates in all forms. And the Republican National Committee has come out against vaccine mandates. So I don't know if that's what Carrie Mullins of the Republican group was referring to last time. I don't know her that well enough to ask her, but I think that's what she was talking to about Republicans, is that you all Republicans, you have the backing of the Republican Party as well as the polls in opposing vaccine mandates. And going around to all the townships, there's been some confusion as to what a resolution is. I don't think you have this problem, but I feel like I should bring it up. Resolution is simply an official declaration or official expression of your will or your opinion. Has no legal force of law, as Attorney Gay Cook said in Harrisville the other day. It is not a legal thing. It's a political thing if you choose not to go. A resolution can be changed at any time if your opinions and your will changes. But why some of the boards have not passed it, it might be interesting. One got a letter from a lawyer saying, don't sign this because it is controversial. All right. What is controversial, in my opinion, is that if you ignored the 14% of respondents or 4% that said you should fire people, that's what I would consider controversial, particularly since what the resolution we had presented, you're already doing it. You've been doing it yesterday, today, a month ago, a year ago. You're not requiring vaccines for employees or general contractors. So you're already doing it. I don't know if it would be, if something becomes controversial, just because you make an official declaration or an official expression of that. I don't think it's controversial. And the last thing, some of the townships were, their lawyers had told them they were subject to fine. No one has ever said that an employer of less than 100 would be subject to a fine. And yet a lawyer told one of the townships that they would be open to fine if they pass this resolution. So I just thought it would be interesting to know. I know you get resolution requests much more often than the townships, but there's a lot of information, misinformation going on about there, what a resolution is and what it's trying to go for. And I have some ideas as to what might be going on, but I'll use my 5 minutes afterwards to talk about that.
Thank you. Anybody else? 3 minutes. Gary.
Gary Van Up, Mitchell Township. I just want to make a declaration at this meeting that I will be running for the 5th District County Commissioner as a Republican this August in the primary.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anybody online? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to presentations. We're going to add a couple things. I'm going to do it right now, Stephanie, if you don't mind. I'm going to add Tina Garris to presentations. Under new business, we need to do the ARPA committee report. That's it.
Do you want to take equalization off?
Well, and also, yeah, we're gonna take the equalization contract off of the new business. Yep. Thank you, Carolyn. If that's all set, then we'll go on to Tina, when you're ready.
Thank you. May I pass these out to the commissioners?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is the proposal I represents somewhat some work. To determine how we could make this go forward. I've been had meetings with Dan O'Connor, the superintendent, and a number of other community leaders, and we're in dire need of a daycare center in this community. Some parents are traveling to Alpena, some are missing work, and it's all in here, but I don't want to waste your time today. I'm not sure what your protocol would be if I leave this with you to review, if I could come back for the next meeting or be in touch with you by email as far as your thoughts on it.
I think the first would be, if everybody agrees, email would be the best way to communicate with us initially.
Okay, I have your email. I
Yeah.
don't have the other,
I can forward you all the other.
everybody's,
Yep.
okay.
It's on the
And then we
website,
can
too.
do like a group email communicating. Okay.
Yeah, then it gives us some chance to review the information.
Okay,
and then
wonderful.
I would say it would probably be, it wouldn't be sooner than the second meeting in January
Okay,
before we could even try to, talk
do
again.
something like this. Okay.
Or there's a lot of groundwork and stuff to discuss and. how it
Yes,
works.
yes, absolutely. There's a lot of moving pieces for this project.
But-
And
If I may, overall, when you contacted me before, your interest was the ARPA funds. to try to get
Yes.
some ARPA funds for the.
The
for this
COVID
project.
relief funds.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
I was seeking, in order to fund this.
Mhm.
And since I wrote up this proposal, there's already been a change in that we were looking at building on campus, on the high school campus next to the elementary school for this daycare center. But I learned since I wrote this up that we would have to displace others who are using the building, and I didn't think that was a great option. So we might need to explore other options as far as the location and, how we might, or maybe try to finance an addition to the building that exists there, something like that. But we don't, that is kind of up in the air because I don't want to displace the people that are there, the Head Start. And it's a much needed program in itself too, so.
Okay,
So, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions and I'll get those emails from you and then we'll go from there.
yeah, and it's available on the website too, if I don't respond quite quick as you.
Oh, the website, I saw phone numbers, but I didn't see
No
emails.
emails, all right, well, I'll go to the IT guy, but I'll get back to you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Evan.
Yep. Anyways, I talked to Tina last week, and she has an interesting project for us to look at.
If you could get a copy of that to the ARPA fund committee and the clerk as well, so she can put it in our minutes.
Yep. I'll go to our report. Get one.
We got one. Okay.
Thanks, Tina. I'm glad you come today.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting concept.
Moving on to unfinished business, Dave Hanson, Great Lakes Roofing Contract.
Hey, Dave Hanson for Building and Grounds. As you know, we're moving along with our project. We set up the bids, picked up a contractor we're gonna use is Great Lakes Roofing Insulation. The only thing final to do was they did send a little contract that needs to get signed by the commissioner to send back to them that we're accepting their bid and all that stuff. And on this one, it has a little more detail that basically when they get ready to start the project, be like 50% down when the materials are delivered on site and then 50% upon completion and inspections. And so that just finalized that a little bit. So we'll have to in the springtime, get it with them and figure out that the funds are available when we're getting ready to get things delivered and get the project going.
Do all three contractors ask for terms like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Just say, there's no.
Particularly Dan. Because I'm not, I know what my cost is on it, but I, as a contractor, wouldn't the contractor normally sign it first? To affirm that.
Yeah, they did sign it. On the bid proposal and everything like that, it's already signed and everything.
Yeah, that sounds right here.
Everything is all signed. Right there. I'm not sure which one's in your packet.
It's right on the front page like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking on the proposal form.
Then this officially gets us on the schedule for the springtime.
Yeah.
To get the project done.
Any questions for Dave?
I would, if you wish, Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve Chairman of the board signing the contract with Great Lakes Roofing contract as presented.
Support. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Dan, you making some noise?
No, I just read it and make sure.
Yeah.
some of the
Dan and I
stuff
was
is in there.
meeting with the stuff, the building and grounds committee.
Then we'll do a roll call.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
Dave, I've got a copy too. I'll just have him sign one. And you
Yeah, he can
whatever-
sign that one if you want, either one, and then I'll email it back to
He
them.
brings everything in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks for that.
All right, thank you.
On to new business. The claims. Already.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between December 1st, 2021, and December 14th, 2021 for check numbers 146, 135-146-226. And check numbers 1736 to 1748 for a grand total of $408,424.86.
Moved and seconded. Second by Small. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, or yeah, roll call, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
Next item. The Housing Commission resolution.
I would move approval of and authorize chair to sign.
Oh, I have a motion. And a second. So we want Diane to speak on this, or is everybody familiar enough with what's going on? Hey, Diane. Yeah, that's all right.
Says she's on.
You might not be listening. That's fine.
Hello,
Oh, hey, Diane, we just did a motion and a second for the housing resolution. You want to give us a little brief description on that?
yes, this is a targeted grant that we're applying for the Village of Lincoln, which includes Barlow Park, a pavilion, construction there that the friends there have been raising money to put up, and we're hoping this grant will help do that. And it also will do, again, it's targeted, the exterior of hopefully 5 houses within that surrounding village.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do we need a roll call this one?
Pardon me?
We need to roll call this?
It's resolution.
All right, roll call it is.
Gothier,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady.
Yes. Next item, medical marijuana operation oversight grant application.
Approve and authorize.
Ooh, I'll second by Brady. I've looked it over already. It's the same as what we've done every year.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it were, oh, because I didn't have a copy of that.
I forwarded it to you yesterday.
You did, I printed it and I forgot to bring it down.
Okay.
Well, somehow I got it.
I think I read that too. I don't know what happened to it. Regardless, we have a motion to second. Any further discussion?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Adam was the second. And, we'll do a roll call on this too.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
And I know, Stephanie did not need to get back to Jen, account. Nothing will sign that. and approve it.
Okay.
Next item, amended articles of incorporation for Thunderbird Transportation Authority. I'm gonna let Bill talk about this.
Well, I'm assuming that last year they did their update on it and it goes through all the different counties and they all have to vote on it for their, the wording. And it got to Alpena and Alpena had a few corrections they wanted to install in it, so they did the changes. The primary changes are underlined, but it's got to do with their address was changed from where they were before. They're having problems, as every committee does, trying to get members. So instead of calling it the hospital or Mid-Michigan, which got changed anyway, and now it's changed to My Michigan, they had to try to incorporate, so they sort of did general wording, and it's, I think one of it is medical instead of hospitals, just to get a broader term. They were also getting some problems with people living, they worked in Alpena, but they lived in Tawas. So it sort of broke their articles, and so they've broadened that. So basically what you'll see in there is just a adjustment to society, how it's moved out and trying to keep the board, we're still short people on the board. And that's basically the changes that came up.
So we need a,
You have to vote it to say that you accept the changes,
okay,
and then they'll reprint everything back up with all the changes put together.
so you just made a motion for that?
To vote. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Let's send a copy of the minutes to Thunderbird Transportation Authority. Okay. Next item, NEMCOG designated planning agency approval. Who can speak to this?
Oh, as the representative, as a board liaison to NEMCOG, I mean, this is basically the 9-county area of NEMCOG. Eagle has come back and changed their actually their wording and are back into trying to get grant approval for material management county engagement grant, including what it is for solid waste. Even though in Alcona County, we really don't have a solid waste treatment plant, having all 9 counties involved allows us, if we want to be helpful, partner with Alpena on solid waste, so that allows that to happen. So they're just asking for all 9 counties to sign this for allowing NEMCOG to govern that as a designated planning agency. And I think we're the last county to sign.
So we need a motion to sign.
Yeah, make a motion that we sign. I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Is the roll call order? Is this up? Yes, or nay? Yeah, roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Lockyer,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Next item is the opioid litigation settlement agreement. Carolyn, you'd like to speak about this?
Sure. Stephanie and I have been looking at this for 3-4 years and responding when we needed to. I don't recall the figure off the top of my head. Over 18 years, we would receive. You have that figure?
Something like 200,000, wasn't it? 200?
I can take through here.
Anyway, it is, the concept behind it is going after the drug companies for the cost to the community through training for our law enforcement, to knowing how to deal with these drug situations, for the health department being able to address that. Our costs, if we have someone who is incarcerated or was incarcerated with us, who is dealing with all that, wherever drugs touched us in a negative manner, this is supposed to help cover those costs. It is my understanding, I saw this early on, but I haven't seen it recently, so maybe it got changed, maybe it didn't, I don't know, that the payoff must go towards drug prevention or killing type of thing. So it's not a matter of us going back and repaying costs. It's a matter of moving forward to try and minimize the effect and the problems of drugs in our community. We do have community issues in our community with drugs. We see it every day. But having said that, we're closer and closer to a settlement. I think that's 200 and,
Oh, I stopped looking,
oh, I'm sorry.
sorry. $295,000,
And that's over 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
Averaged about $26,000 a year, I believe it was.
So we've, like 16, 18 times we had to respond.
Yeah.
Signature and so on.
It's worth the effort, is what you're saying.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so.
I feel it is.
Yeah.
And,
I appreciate you staying with that. And
I pursued it.
Nice.
Free money? Yeah. I
Do we
can't
need
think
board
of
action?
that.
Do we need board action on this?
I believe we do need authorization for your signature.
Okay.
There are two agreements for participation settlement agreements that need to be signed by you. So
I would so move authorizing.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yes.
He's not the, non-general budget, thing, is it?
I thought it was.
I thought it was
Yeah.
too. We need to add that to it too. We're gonna,
Approve the non-general budget.
did you advertise today to be the, public hearing?
No, because you didn't do it.
Talked about it.
Right, and I said if you did it, then it would have to be in the paper by this Friday, you'd have to have a special meeting by next Wednesday.
You can still get in the paper by the,
By this Friday for next Wednesday. But you'd have to have a special, you'd have to have a special meeting.
no,
Yeah, but it's, I should put more. Yep. Okay. Well, then I guess, the next Wednesday. That's gotta be in the paper, it would have to be in paper today. For next Wednesday.
Thursday then.
But then it have to be in paper for 6 days. Oh, so it'd be on the 29th.
Yeah.
The special meeting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to dope out my brain. When you said Wednesday, it sounded like that next one.
That's about roughly how it happened.
So,
last year,
okay.
too.
So, okay, we'll have to do on the 29th.
Okay.
All right. Next item on new business, set organizational meeting. That's for the first part of every year. And it was suggested that we have a special meeting on the second, but it's only one day until the regular first meeting of the year. I don't see why we really need to do that unless somebody has a real concern. So we just do it like usually. The first part of the regular meeting would be the organizational.
Okay.
Do you need a motion or want a motion on that?
I don't know that we need to have a motion. Want to make sure it was set because I was bad at setting meeting dates.
We'll do 1 o'clock organizational, 1:30 regular meeting.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Yep.
You say 1 and then 1:30?
yes,
One.
please.
Okay.
Next item we added is the American Rescue Plan Committee report.
Our ARPA committee met yesterday, and we have three items for the board's attention. First, the committee is asking for the board's approval to pay the invoice amount for the Dell servers that were ordered and approved by the board. And for the first invoice is an amount of $8,134. The second invoice is an amount of $8,854.79. And I just note that when John gave us our first back in September or October, that we needed this, he was looking at $12,000. So they did come under, we have them both. He has one installed, the other one needs to be installed. These invoices need to be paid in 21, so we're asking for the board's approval to use previous funds that were approved for the EMS fiber, moving the fiber installation to the 2022 budget. So that's the first thing that we need to vote. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve paying those amounts.
Support.
Supported. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gothier,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Small,
Yep.
Brady.
Yes.
Next item is the committee is also asking for the board for the approval of the purchase in the amount of $15,297 for card reader door locks and camera mic for installation on the existing jail entry doors. And our sheriff Scott Stevenson is going to give us that explanation.
Yes, similar to the security system here where you card swipe to get in and out. It's all our doors that we're using keys on now. And that's just for our doors. The main door to the lobby closes when we close in the afternoon and so what we want to put in there is, this is basically Jeff Braggett's request for 911. So his dispatcher doesn't have to get up and go out to the lobby to talk to folks. They can talk from there. They're not allowed to leave their workstation for safety and security reasons. And because they have to answer the phone at 911, they can still respond to somebody that's outside of our lobby and request a deputy to come in and talk to them. So there's two projects. One is the door camera system where they can monitor the front door and respond to it. Pretty similar system to what you see outside of Tom Wakel's office there, where they can buzz them in. And the other is a card swipe ID for employees to get in and out of the building. Also very similar to what goes on in this building.
And that includes all installation.
All installation and labor, yes. And the number that Dan gave you was a cost for both projects together.
And the committee is, is recommending and has agreed that these funds can be paid from out of our American Rescue Act money. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase in the amount of $15,297.
Support. We're supported by Terry. Any further discussion?
I think this would be more of a 2022 budget because we wouldn't be getting them for a while, right? Does that happen?
I haven't talked to the sales rep, but I would be real surprised if they could get anything done between now and
Yeah,
the end
so
of the
it'd be
year.
more of a
So
2022
yeah.
budget. Okay.
All right, then we'll do a roll call.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yes. And the third is the committee is also asking for the board's consideration to purchase 14 new AED units in an amount of $25,217 for our county buildings. One bid has been received and we're waiting on 2 more bids. Scott Rice is to explain.
Afternoon. I'm sorry.
No worries.
The 14 AEDs are for 2 here in the county building, 1 in each of the 4 libraries, 4 for the road patrol for the sheriff's office, 1 over at our EMS building, so that we can get more AEDs into the community. Is what it amounts to. The ones that the sheriff's office has now, I'm going to guesstimate are somewhere between 12 and 15 years old. They can't be updated, they can't be reprogrammed. They're getting to be obsolete, so we need to get something more modern, more compatible with our cardiac monitors.
In the library, they don't have it.
They don't have any in the library, no.
And we only have 1 in this building?
You have 1 upstairs outside the treasurer's office. I'd like 1 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
And then you through EMS can provide all the training.
Because we do have a lot of people using our classroom civic groups throughout the community.
And so this is really for our information because we're waiting on the other 2 bids. At least gives everybody a heads up of what's going on.
And the
These
making-
2 would be approved through
The make and model that I'm asking for or requesting is compatible with our cardiac monitors. And they're telling me there's a 20 to 24 week wait period for manufacturing the chips and all this other manufacturing holdups that they're having.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, that's it. For the committee report. Moving on to finance.
First thing. Oh, here it is. See when the share was. First order of business is the finance committee is asking for the board's approval to allow the finance committee to make appropriate adjustments to the 2021 general fund and 2021 non-general fund budget for the remaining of the current fiscal year.
I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention when you talked about this earlier, that in there, in the past, we had with the concurrence of either the treasurer or the clerk.
Oh,
Can't just unilaterally,
okay.
I'm sorry.
So, well, it's not typed in here, but I'll add
Right.
with the concurrence of the treasurer and or our clerk. I'd like to make that as a motion.
Support.
It was supported. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yeah.
Brumman,
Yes.
Okay, we have.
Also,
Yeah, much more. We have some more attorney invoices for our ongoing litigation. So I'd like to have approved moving $12,000 from our contingency line item to our legal services line item. The current bills we have are $13,300. We have about $2,000 in our legal services, so this will still keep a balance in our legal services line item. But we need to pay the bills.
the motion.
Yeah,
Seconded. Second by Brady. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Gothier.
yes. A fund application request for our fund Harbor Town 245. And basically increasing the revenue line $2,315 to a new total of $26,315. And increasing expenditure line by $23,15 to a total of $20,479. This is submitted by the Harbor Town liaisons. And we'll make a motion to approve that.
Who was supported? Any further discussion? Roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yeah.
Small,
Yes.
All right.
What else, got, boss?
Well, I'm fine enough. You got something? Go ahead.
No.
You're on the roll.
Then we have suicide awareness fund. Basically, Cheryl, help me on this. We're gonna,
to increase revenues, transferring from fund balance $363. And increase the expenditures. That's the fund that they're closing out for 2021. It won't be, they're not expecting any more revenues or any more activity in that fund. So that will zero it out. It's going to change the bottom line to 17,403 for revenues and 17,403 for expenditures. And the total that they're bringing in is $363.
okay, make a motion.
Second by Brady. Further discussion? Roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Gothier.
Yes,
Motion
Where did
carried.
that balance be rolled into?
Transferring from fund balance. And then the expense will be paid out of professional development.
Thank you.
and then we have another fund request for an inmate trust 564. for increasing the revenue line item by $500 to a new total of $1,500 and increasing the expenditure line by $500 for a new total of $4,010. Make a motion to approve.
Moved and supported. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Brumman,
Yes.
Gothier,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Motion carried. You're doing great.
Yeah. And I think basically, Cheryl, on the appropriations, we're just letting the board know that we're gonna be,
Completing the appropriations for the outside services
right,
in the funds in the county, here, go ahead.
yeah, the funds will be the ARA fund, $2,250, the DHS fund for $1,500, the DPW for $2,000, economic development, $100, childcare fund, $20,000, and employee annual sick pay for $100.
Care fund 292.
That's determined, that's all they need to finish up to that.
Yes, and then with the amendment or the motion that you made, if there were any other necessary increases, they could be handled at that time.
I don't think if this doesn't mean a motion, we've already approved these, we're just letting everybody know this. And then Cheryl has some others.
Oh, I gave you I was under the assumption that we were doing the 2022 non-general. But while you're here, there are 3 pages sticking outside that we got from the courts. And there's a few things highlighted in there that just need to be reviewed before. Actually, this is perfect timing because they just need to be reviewed. Some of the information was different than what was approved by the board, so it put those budgets off balance. I know we had discussed a few things like the contribution from other funds. In the general fund, we allocated $20,000. It's a different number that she requested. That just needs to be fixed. So that made the bottom line off a little bit. The same thing with the child care fund. The general fund approved 182,055. She requested 188,825. That puts that fund off $6,770. And the probate public guardian, she had requested, the department requested a transfer from fund balance. They only had $2,000 available, and then there was a request for $10,005, which is not there. So that would just be a few of the considerations to need to be discussed. Other than that, everything else that was given is here and in your packet for your review.
Thanks, Cheryl.
So these 3 funds that you've already, I mean, the figures are already there to satisfy the balance of these funds, right? I mean, you already have them in here.
The changes, I did not change the transfer in from other funds because
Okay.
I left it as what is in the general fund, what you already approved. So there has to be just a few modifications on those, and the transfer from fund balance can be modified as well.
Okay.
And I'm more than happy to discuss that, or any one of the boards who wants to discuss that with that department.
Yeah, I would talk to Jennifer.
Okay. And then we'll just get that done before the 29th meeting and we should be good to go.
Thank you. Anything else, man?
No, that's it.
I would like, finance committee would like to make a recommendation from the finance committee. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint the budget liaison positions to Cheryl and Sheila again for the year 2022 as their current expires at the end of this year. That's my motion. That would be under the same compensation and would expire at the end of 2022.
And you already have those in that figures in the budget.
Yes.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
One caveat, that we have a procedure figured out, modified for the processes.
Yep.
With the board and how to have that.
Noted.
Thank
Any other discussion? Let's do roll call.
Gawker,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady.
Yes. Thank you. That's it for finance. Personnel. Okey dokey. And we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
We have been working on the budgets, as well as the tax collection. We're coming up, we have, at this time, we have 663 properties that are moving forward in the delinquent process to forfeiture on March 1st. These properties, if not paid, will go into forfeiture, which that means they'll have one more year to pay and redeem the properties. Last year, we had 733, so we're down, about 90 properties, which is good. There's going to be a publication for these properties that are going into forfeiture. I believe it will be out in this paper and the map. Listing all the possible interested parties. We have 99 that are going into, that are in forfeiture. I'm sorry, 99 that are in forfeiture that are going to be foreclosed on March 31st. Last year we had 93. And those are the ones that are going to be published in the paper. I apologize. Those ones get notices. So just because there is, if just kind of so people have an idea, there are names, if you have owned the property in the last 5 years or had an interest in the property, those do, like if you sold it, your name, the name is going to still show up because we have to notify all the parties of interest. We do a 40-year search, and not all 40 years of names in there are in there, but there it seems to be some confusion when people see their name in there. If you sold on a lien contract or something, because there's two owners basically of that property, they're still going to be in the paper and notified because that's our legal obligation. We're trying to notify as many people as we can, so we don't have to foreclose, so they can get that property and get it straightened up and back on track with the taxes. There is a new program that's supposed to be coming out for 22, similar to a program that was funded by the state for prior years. This one offers a $25,000 cap on assistance with delinquent property tax and mortgage payments. And we'll be getting more information out about that to the community because it may help other people who have been impacted in the last couple of years financially. So we're looking into getting that taken care of in the next few weeks. And other than that, we've just been kind of moving forward. Lots more dogs. Get your dog licensed.
Thanks. Clerk's report.
The resolution for the housing resolution that was passed also is number 2021-12. My only question with that is in that the NEMCOG email, they kind of gave a motion verbatim. I don't know if that's what they really want you guys to use.
I read that.
When I was working on the letter with Cheryl, I'm sorry, not Cheryl, Sheila, Phillips, the village president. My recollection is that she said, we just need a motion.
To approve
Now-
that too.
Maybe it should be that motion.
But you approve them as the designated planning agency, correct?
Yes.
I think you're probably good then.
Okay.
I think you're good. Okay. We're just working on open enrollment right now. They were due today. We have to send those to 44 North by Friday, and that wraps up open enrollment. And other than that, I'll give you this opioid litigation stuff to sign. Carolyn, you sent me an email regarding the direct deposit portion of that, and I am not familiar with that. I haven't seen that email at all. But otherwise, just working to kind of wrap up 2021 a little bit, financing. People will be getting their last minute bills in, hopefully send out a reminder email. We've got a couple short weeks coming up, so be busy.
Can you check and see if we sent the minutes to,
They just called like after 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I gotta send them the minutes, and the sheriff's department needs some minutes, and
Okay,
they're going in a bunch of different directions.
okay.
I just wanted to clarify also on December 29th, the date I'm posting for the public hearing for the non-general.
Yeah.
What time?
Well, it'll be a quick one. You want to get it over with in the morning?
Okay, the 29th, no, 29th.
10 a.m. I'm
Okay,
hoping to not be on my regular job.
okay.
10 a.m.
Well,
Okay, thank you. Communications, you have several items in your packet to review. We got committee reports. Harry,
Before we get going, we just received something in to us. Do we want to go into closed session? to discuss it?
nope.
That would be that. Department of Health, and I was there the other day. They're moving along. Dealing with this, I guess I can say it, they're number one state in pieces of hospitals are full.
Anything else? Okay.
Going to NEMCOG tomorrow, so can I have that? I got a NEMCOG meeting tomorrow in Gary. Could I have that resolution? I don't know. Of today?
no,
I mean, that,
it's not a resolution.
I mean, it's not a resolution, but,
It'll be made part of the minutes.
don't we have something for him to sign? No? Okay, I'll let him know that it's been done. I just don't know if there's a deadline.
I'd have to have the whole 7 minutes done for you to even give you a draft version,
Okay. Okay.
unless they want to just watch YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
That's good
I'll
enough
find out.
until the minutes are done.
Okay.
Can we authorize a letter or something?
I don't know. I'll call Diane when we're done here.
And see what they need.
Yeah. No, well, other than that, the district health meeting, I think I forwarded you all Dr. Ahmed's report. Very interesting report, you know, and like Terry said, the hospitals are full. He's a resident out of Sandusky. And the most shocking thing to me is that there's people sick with everything, but now, because all the hospitals are full, and they would, like, if he needed an ICU bed, he would call up to 32 different hospitals throughout the state, throughout other adjoining states, to try to find a bed, and usually can't find nothing. And the most concerning fact is that when a small hospital area like Alpena, when somebody came in with a major heart attack, major stroke, something needed to be transferred to another major hospital, within 90 minutes, they were either on a helicopter, or they were gone. That time is up to 6 hours, just because of the overload. So pretty serious stuff going on, but it was a very interesting report. Other than that, just going to NEFCON.
Say on top of that too, it was interesting, again, that same report. And what he had to say was, two, it didn't matter if you had the vaccination.
No.
If you have already had it, there's a chance you can still get it again. There's a good chance. The stats he was giving though was if you did get vaccinated, less likely to be in the hospital. Again, this is facts from the doctor who represents the district.
Bill, what you got?
Well, we had, I went to city of Harrisville and the township meetings the other day, and the fire department's in the process of looking towards getting a new set of jaws for their removal. The old one is over 40 years old, and they're trying to get a new system. They're going out for bids on that one. And I'm just doing the budget and that's about it right now.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Just a couple highlights, like Bill Township, two township board meetings. As far as airport, joint airport zoning board meeting held just after our meeting 2 weeks ago. We did a plan review on an additional hangar that's over in the grouping area where the other 9 hangars are. It was pretty routine structure. We did do elections and I continue as chairman of that board. Harbortown furnaces should be completed by next week. Preliminary work will probably be done tomorrow or Friday. And then the final work will be done, I believe, Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Cedar Lake Improvement Board meeting, we continue to look at sources that are relevant to our master plan. Our concern quite often is in following that master plan, making sure that we have or are looking towards getting adequate moisture from the wet areas, and we're continuing to just look at those things and so on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, it's Craig.
Hey.
Hey, do you want me to, I got a little end of the year stuff for road commission. This is usually where we do it. You want me to inform you or
Right.
can you hear me?
You hear us?
All right. Yeah, just to wrap up at the end of the year at the road commission. So they have their budget hearing next Tuesday for their budget. They're on track. They didn't have any problems. I think they got it pretty well settled with what you guys had. Another item they had, I guess Cedar Lake Improvement Board, they had some, well, I think the chair had some issues with some attendance. So I think Jesse's being appointed to that board now by law or by something or other. There has to be DPW representation regularly at the CLIB meetings, and there hasn't been. So Jesse's, I think, going to take that on from what he had said. DEQ requirement. Now, this has been an ongoing issue. So the driveway that is at this landfill right now is actually owned by Smith Sunrise, and their DEQ is requiring that there be another ingress outgoing driveway put in there so that the landfill can be accessed. There's some work that's going to have to be done. They've tabled it for this year, but just let the county know that probably in the future, the high number was about $9,000 for the driveway. There's a cheap spot they could put it, but supposedly DEQ is saying they don't want it there. So at this point it's tabled, but within the next few years, there's going to have to be another driveway put in out there so that you can get in and out of it. There's not been a problem with Smith Sunrise. However, if they ever decided to shut it off, there'd be no way to get in and out. So that's an issue. Other than that, end of the year, very successful year. I think they broke records in a lot of categories for their how many miles of road they tarred and chipped and how much work they got done. And other than peeling everybody's front lawn or everybody's road into their front lawn right now, everything else is going pretty good. So anything else you can let me know, or any other questions?
All right, thanks, Greg.
All righty.
Okay, moving on to public comment, 5 minutes. Please identify yourself.
I just want to say, since today I'm wrapping up my efforts to go before all the local boards to present the resolution to them. Having been to all of them except Curtis and the Village of Lincoln, several of them I've been through several times. Obviously, I've been here before you numerous times. I've had some people ask me what I was really trying to accomplish. And I thought this would be a good time to talk about that. Of course, was I interested in having the employees, particularly of the Alcona County protected? Of course. Also, am I concerned that this was a massive federal overreach in violation of our constitutional laws as well as the Nuremberg Code? Obviously, I was concerned about that. But it was more than that. Really, I am concerned that we as a society have lost touch with what I used to call the small, still voice inside you. Some people call it the moral compass or your conscience. My Sunday school teacher used to call it God. I think we have lost touch with that thing that tells us when we're doing something wrong or when something wrong is happening. I think everybody in this room knows exactly what I'm talking about. They've got a gut feeling something is not right. And when they don't listen to it, when their brain tells them, don't listen to it, they pay the price. Every single person in here knows exactly what I'm talking to about. They wish they listened to their gut feeling. And I think our leaders, which you are amongst us, have either been taught that they are not supposed to listen to that, or they think their constituency doesn't want them to listen to that, when the fact might be that's why we elected you, that we expect you to balance out the brain with your moral compass, with your gut feeling, with your feelings of what's wrong or right. My Commissioner Thompson, who has heard me speak more than all of you combined, I commend him for being at every meeting I was at. I would ask him, I'm not expecting a reply, but I would ask him, has there one time in all those times, has something told him, yes, he's right. He's right. This is wrong what they're trying to do. And there's something that I can do about it. And if that's the case, what has kept you, as well as the other two commissioners who have not chosen to support this, what has kept you from following that gut feeling? If you have not gotten that gut feeling, I would never, ever want you to go against that. If you've gotten the opposite. But if you have gotten that feeling, there's something you should have done and you didn't, I would ask you to please do not hold that against me if I have been an imperfect messenger, if me personally or anyone else has presented this. I would ask you to continue asking yourself, is this the right thing we're doing? Is there something we can do? As my father said, it's never too late to do the wrong or do the right thing. I would hope you would keep this possibility open, is that if you get the feeling that there is just something you have to can do, that gut feeling is telling you, I would ask you to act upon that, whether it's with my help, which I don't anticipate, or amongst yourself. So thank you very much. And thank you for all your courtesy all these times I've been here. I much appreciate it. I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Did you skip the fiduciary on your agenda there that we discussed earlier?
Apparently.
Okay. The city of Midland is the current fiduciary for emergency management.
I got it roped into the ARPA. That's
Okay,
why.
but I gotta have a document.
Yeah,
signed
yeah, go.
For the sub-recipient
I'm
funding
sorry.
agreement for the 2021. They got them to us very late this year. Next year, it's gonna be Health Department number 2 out of West Branch. So I gotta get this signed and get this back to Midland so that we can do all the fun. So, well, you gotta sign it.
Well, I know, but she brings me all the sign stuff. So
Okay, whichever you prefer.
I got here.
And then I gotta get them back to copy.
You need authorization.
So we need authorization
I
from
would
the board.
move to authorize chairman to
Scott.
sign the emergency management fiduciary contract.
Move to second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Gothier.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Small.
Yes.
Brady.
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll be adjourned until December 29th. For the shortest meeting in the history of Alcona County. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like. Give us some business. Thanks. Meeting adjourned. I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I gotta send them back to you.
We could be monetized.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, don't leave yet. I'm gonna make you a copy of this. In the preschool, and I gotta make you a copy of this.